Welcome to Genetic Counseling Awareness Channel with Katie Lee. All the best resources you'll ever need at Genetic Counseling Awareness Channel.
Hi guys, it's me, Katie Lee, CGC, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a video for those of you who are just looking into genetic counseling graduate school. I want to talk about what is an admissions cycle. Through GC chat and Discord, you'll always see mention of these GC admission cycles, but what does it actually mean? So I'm going to break this down for you, and this is for those of you who are just starting to understand the process of applying to genetic counseling graduate school and how the timeline works in the United States and Canada. If you're interested in more content about genetic counseling and genetic counseling grad school, please like this video and subscribe. All right, so let's talk about it. What is a genetic counseling admission cycle? We usually use that term to refer to the process from applying to school, getting interviews at schools, and matching to a school, and then starting a school. That whole process essentially takes most of a year. And in fact, the vast majority of applicants, especially good applicants who are likely to match, have probably been preparing for applying to genetic counseling graduate school for 2, 3, 4, sometimes even more years, between the different prerequisites that need to be taken, the requirement or strong recommendation for a very good understanding of genetic counseling, either through listening to podcasts, reading books, shadowing genetic counselors, informational interviews, as well as doing some advocacy volunteer work, crisis volunteer work, and so forth. So it takes a long time to get ready to apply to genetic counseling graduate school. Some people are able to apply during undergrad, like during their senior year, because they've been working towards checking off all of those boxes during undergrad. And for other people who are considering genetic counseling as a second career a little bit later in life, sometimes it takes years to complete those prerequisites, as well as all of the volunteer and advocacy and shadowing recommendations or requirements. Generally, information on each program's, genetic counseling program's website is updated in the summer or fall for the next year of applicants. There's about just over 50 schools in the United States that offer genetic counseling graduate programs. On their websites, you can find the specific prerequisites and specific GPA requirements, letter of recommendation requirements, volunteer requirements that are needed to apply to each school, and they all differ just a little bit. Most of them are similar and overlapping, but you will find differences, so you want to check each of those carefully. And then applications are typically due along with all of the supporting documents like those letters of recommendations, official transcripts, GRE report if it's needed. Those are typically due in December or January. So if we think about this application cycle for students who are hoping to start genetic counseling school in 2022, their applications would be due to each program probably in December or January. And each program will have their own due date when the application and the supporting materials are due. So you definitely want to check each program's website. The next step is to wait for interviews. Interviews are required at all of the genetic counseling programs. And since COVID, there has been a little bit of a shift and a change in that many programs are allowing virtual interviews as well as in-person interviews, and that information is still kind of rolling out, and again, it's program specific. So in usually February-ish, you'll find out what programs are inviting you for an interview, and you'll set up those interviews. The interviews will generally occur in February, March, and April. Again, it's a little bit tricky to set up the dates, especially when you're working a full-time job or have a family, but generally there will be a handful of dates that you'll be offered for your interviews, and you'll schedule them. Depending on the program, the interviews can be quite different. They could be a half day to a full day to multiple days of activities, meeting current students, listening to the program director talk more about the program and being able to answer questions, and then interviews with multiple faculty members, maybe some group interviews or group activities, maybe writing an essay. So they can all differ depending on the program. Once you're done with the interviews, you'll have some time to think about how you want to rank programs. For genetic counseling, there is currently a match system. So you will use this website, this national matching service for genetic counseling website. You'll register with it back in the fall before you start applying to schools, and then you will submit your ranking, or of all of those programs you interviewed at, which one do you want to go to most to least. The programs will also submit a ranking. And the dates for when the ranks are due, they will be very clear. They're just not out yet. But you'll have time after the interviews to think about how you want to rank the programs, obviously. And the programs will have time to think about all of the students or all of the applicants they interviewed and how to rank them. And then match day will be in April. So that's the day that you found out if you matched with a genetic counseling program, and if so, which one. School will start usually in August or September of that year. So August or September of 2022. Again, depending on the program, you'll know going in what your first day of school is going to be. So that whole process from applying to school with the applications and supporting documents due in December or January, depending on the program, through getting interviews, going to those interviews, ranking your programs, matching with the program, and then starting school, that is generally referred to as an admissions cycle. So some people might say, I've gone through 2 admission cycles. I've applied to school twice. You just hear the term referred to a lot, so I just wanted to break it down for each of you. Thanks for watching, you guys. Let me know what questions you have about genetic counseling grad school down below, and I'd love to make a video on it. Take care. Bye.